We do have more performers coming up. This next performer here is KB. They are a Black queer non-binary poet, editor, art organizer, educator, and post-secondary ed professional that is currently based in Austin, Texas. Their poetry appears in the Cincinnati Review, the Matador Review, Cosmonauts Avenue, the Shade Journal, Sappho's Torque, and plenty of other places. You got me reading a CVS receipt up here with all these accolades. Okay. And when they're busy, when they're not busy juggling countless community organizing roles, including being the founder and co-organizer of ATX Interfaces, which you can follow at ATX_interfaces. You will be able to catch them doing some poetry right here. Give a large round of applause to KB as they make their way up.
So I love when my bio gets read, because then I come up to the stage and I'm like, dicks, 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 dicks. And I was like, these are the people who are giving grants and shit? And I'm like, hell yeah, girl. We're in 2020. This is what people are giving money. Me writing poems about dicks. How y'all doing today? Y'all good? I appreciate that. There's so many people, and I'm the only poet. I feel very fortunate to be in front of y'all. I have about 9 minutes to make a lasting impression, so I'm gonna read about 3 pieces. If you want more information, talk to me afterwards. So I'm from Fort Worth, Texas, and I wrote a poem about it. Hee hee, let's go. I want to love this city. The street I grew up on where 3 men, brown as church pews, roll in dirt as cops suffocate their wistful wrists. Dogs sniffing through the newly built house that's since been boarded up. The corner store where Raimi and Stahlcup meet. Where I first smoked weed with a young boy in orange shoes who now rocks an orange jumpsuit. The brown sauce smothered pork chops at Stormy Mondays that fill your tummy till you feel a kind of heaven. I want Fort Worth to be loved for downtown and Eastwood equally. When I went to university up the street, they told me not to drive past the train tracks because it was sketchy over there. Like being thrust into whiteness isn't sketchy enough. Like wax dripping candles at vigils aren't just as pretty as the parade of lights on 7th Street. I hate to love this city. Where the stop sign on Berry has 6 painted under stop because you know what hood it is. Where I first felt love, like true love, breathing on the side of my neck at the littest of school nights from a boy who these days pushes daisies. Damn, I love this city. If you lay on the wood and rusted nail where South Side and the burbs meet long enough, you'll hear church ladies humming. Thank you. Alright, so I was like getting ready and I couldn't choose the second poem. So would y'all rather hear something about like Frank Ocean or something about like gentrification? I know that was just a polar opposite, I guess. But I'm glad y'all said gentrification. I love it. So gentrification is bad. Okay. And like since I've like moved to Austin about 1.5 years ago, I've been like, whoa, this shit is out of hand, low key. Like this is the hand and this is Austin. It's out of it. Like period. It's bad. So I've written a lot of poems about that, but I would love to read this one to y'all tonight called Transplant. Coffee shop, bike lane, yoga studio, dog park. You walk into HEB and you're the only black person. You've heard this story, right? The big twist is that they're the only store with the House of Saying peanut sauce. So you roll your basket to the ethnic spices aisle. It's bad, y'all. One wheel touches this white man's heel. He says sorry. You say sorry. He hears sinner. Juice shop, Whole Foods, construction sign, co-op. White girl says, this new bar doesn't attract all the weird locals. You immediately think of college. White girl says your side of town was sketchy and that didn't end well, so you get your drink and leave, draped in all your transplant guilt. Are you the gentrifier or the weird local? You share the area code of one in the face of another. Vintage shop, pop-up, help wanted, non-profit. Can one suffocate from overwhelming whiteness? You Google this before bed. White girl at the feminist bookstore at work that wears a pussy hat says hola to your Latinx friends. She says what's up to you after saying hello to everyone else. Despite the bad lighting, you see the gleam of good intentions in her eyes. You say nothing softly back. Corporate headquarters, fake trees, order maintenance. You try not to get all sad and shamed when 50 Cent comes on in the club. You wonder if leaving everything behind in your hometown was for this. A white man gets in the middle of your dance circle and you just turn. Eventually, everybody turns. Eventually, he tries to handshake. You just offer a dap instead. You wonder if keep blank weird is a typo. You drink margs at brunch in the business they call city. We reserve the right to refuse service to anyone. Blank % increase. Blank school closed due to lack of enrollment for sale. Contact realtor. Thank you.
Okay, cool. If those weren't insufferable, you can follow me at like Earth to KB. Also, like, talk to me. I'm not intimidating, I promise. And I'm gonna leave talking about death because, like, what poet doesn't have a poem about death? But this one happens to be after this like Kendrick Lamar song called "Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst." So I'm gonna try it out on y'all. It's called "When the Lights Shut Off." I want the Odd Future shirt in my closet to go to Kay. Maybe she'll need it to remember my Tide detergent trademark, or how striped and colorful I was when silence feels fatal. Remind her of Afropunk, when she almost fainted at that Tyler, the Creator concert. And we left because her dirt-covered face under New York limelight mattered more than moshing to party isn't over. I want my glasses to go to D. After all, she helped me see the significance of circles. Whether it be shaking in slow rotation at any sweaty bar on 4th Street, or the fog marks flashing on my frames while we succumb to the desire behind our eyelids. I want my ashes scattered in the Trinity River while Kendrick Lamar curates the melancholy of my niggas. There are no Photoshop flower crowns allowed. I want everything else left to my godson so he can bloom instead. And the churches, hoods, outcasts, enemies, I know they all will sing about me. Say, I wish, I could have, I would have, I see me. I'll remind them it's okay. And then I'll finally see T again. We'll hug and kiss, then sing to the crowd. At the end of me is only a fossil. All the things I once owned, the body I once homed, I hurt, but I love you much. I promise better is coming. At the end of me is only a fossil. The things I once owned, the body I once homed, I hurt, but I love you much. I promise better is coming. Thank you.